If y'all have not seen this interview and y'all wonder why black men don't open up, why black men don't talk, why black men don't express their emotions, why black men always feel like they gotta be hard all the motherfucking time, why they gotta be gangstered all the motherfucking time. If you ain't know why, and you didn't watch Skip Bayless's take on Dak Prescott going through mental illness, suffering from depression, I don't know what to tell you. It's not a race thing. I don't think it's a race thing, because there's black people right now that think like this as well. It's black women that think like Skip Bayless does. It's black men that think like Skip Bayless does. It's a lot of our parents. A lot of our parents raised us to think like Skip Bayless thinks. So I'm not going to call this a race thing. It's not a race thing at all. But what I am going to say is, this is why every time a black man comes to a situation where he feels as though he's feeling down, he's feeling hurt, he's feeling lonely, he's feeling depressed, he's feeling anxious, he's feeling nervous, he's feeling, you know what I mean, any type of bipolar, any type of multiple personality, any type of any of that, all we get is suck it up, you can handle it on your own, you got it by yourself, what you worried about, what you got going on, why is you not just dealing with it? Why is you not being a man and just dealing with it? Just fuck it. And I ask those same people, nigga, do you deal with all of your problems, or do you just let them hoes just bother you and just fuck you up? Because I'm not about to let my problems from my past or my issues from my past fuck me up, because I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't feel like I have nobody to talk to. That's not fair. Skip Bayless got on national TV and showed his motherfucking ass, and that shit was not fair. That is an old, childish ass way of thinking. Mental illness is real. This man's brother just died committing suicide during the coronavirus, and said that on top of being in the house, isolated, quarantined, it started to bother him, it started to get to him. Then his brother passing was just the icing on the cake. And for this man to come out and say that he was dealing with this throughout the year, he was dealing with this throughout the quarantine, and it affected him practicing, that's all Skip Bayless heard. Oh wait, so you weren't training? Oh, wait, so you weren't practicing? Oh, wait, so you weren't working on your football game? Why? Me, a Cowboys fan, my entertainment, my fandom is more important than your mental health, Dak Prescott. Fuck what you got going on. Fuck what you got going. Fuck what your family's going through. Fuck what your people are going through because a family member just passed away. You need to be motherfucking practicing so I can commentate about you winning the motherfucking Super Bowl, or you winning a division, or you winning a game. Because that's more important. Your life means nothing if you're not winning football games for the Dallas Cowboys, or for the New Orleans Saints, or for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Kansas City Chiefs. This is why motherfuckers kneel during the national anthem. Because to let white folks know, and it's not just white folks, because it's, like I said, it's black folks, it's Asian folks, it's Hispanic folks, it's just sports fans in general that think that their entertainment is more important than the athletes' lives. I ain't gonna lie to you, when Drew Brees said that bullshit, if he wouldn't have apologized literally the next day and made it seem as though he really was sincere, I would have set that nigga jersey on fucking fire, and I would have been a Chiefs fan. Okay, I don't give a fuck if the Saints win or lose. That don't mean shit. I'll be a Saints fan when Drew Brees ain't the quarterback no more. That was what was finna happen. I don't care. It's about that, hey, these motherfuckers is real people. They just big as shit. Just because a motherfucker's 6'4" and can throw a football far, that means that the nigga don't got feelings? That ain't fair. That ain't right. And I'm not finna let that slide. I don't give a fuck if that nigga done brought the only Super Bowl to New Orleans during the worst time in our motherfucking city's history, if that motherfucker would have kept with that racist shit and doubled down and not apologized and not learned, that nigga would have been the fuck canceled. I don't give a goddamn. And I don't like how Skip Bayless took that. And I'm not saying it was a racist thing. I'm not saying that Skip Bayless was a racist thing. That's how we were taught. That's how we were brought up. That's probably how Skip was brought up. That's how a lot of us was brought up. And it's not fair. That's we done learned that mental illness ain't just no shit that just motherfuckers that in the short bus class or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like, mental illness ain't just people that's in a class that can't talk and is inaudible and shit like that. Mental illness you could be a regular motherfucker walking around and got some shit really wrong with you and need to talk it out, or need to take medication, or need to take natural remedies to get that shit together. But all we getting is, especially as men, especially as black men, is to suck it up, is to handle it yourself, is to deal with it, is to be a man, is to, you know what I mean, be hard. I don't got time for it. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. If I ain't feeling good, motherfucker, I ain't feeling good. If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm depressed, I'm depressed. If I'm hurting, I'm hurting. If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm feeling like I look good today, then I'm gonna tell you that I look good today. If I don't feel like I'm looking great today, I'm gonna tell you I'm not looking great today. I'm gonna tell you that I'm not feeling great today. I'm gonna tell you that my heart is hurting because of this or because of that. Or I'm glad Dak Prescott came out, because now if he balls the fuck out, we know he's balling out knowing that this nigga is dealing not only with the pandemic, but he's dealing with the fact that his brother passed away. I'm not gonna lie to you, Skip is a fucking clown, but you gotta understand, Skip is old as fuck. Okay, Skip is like almost 8. Skip might be almost 80 years old, or he may be older than 80. I know he's at least 10 years older than Shannon Sharp, and Shannon Sharp is 54. So he has to be at least 70. And I know he's way older than 70. I think he's like 75, 80. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of his thought processes and a lot of the ways that he sees shit, views shit, thinks about shit, handles shit is from an old man standpoint. There's a lot of people like Skip Bayless in Congress right now that we need to vote out of office, that are really old and have old thought processes and old standpoints and old mentalities on things, and they needed to be voted the fuck out. I can tell you right now, the only thing that's keeping Skip Bayless on the air is the fact that he is the least racist motherfucker in the world. Skip Bayless loves black people, and I genuinely believe that Skip Bayless loves black people. So with that being said, that's the main reason he's be saying stupid, crazy ass shit, and nobody gives a damn in the sense of, oh, okay, maybe it'll be racist, because it's proven he's not racist. He's definitely not racist, but he's old, and he has old ways of thinking. So that suck it up, that man up mentality, you know what I mean? That suck it up, that man up, that grow up, that be a man mentality. We all was raised like that. So we learn to be different. You see what I'm saying? A lot of our parents, especially men that's watching this, a lot of our parents raised us like that. Suck it up. Be a man. You couldn't tell your motherfucking parents you was depressed growing up? What the fuck would that shit mean? Let's be real. Before we just get on Skip Bayless, like, a lot of our families aren't exactly like this, okay? Before we get on Skip Bayless, it's a lot of our parents and our uncles and our aunties that are just as trash as Skip, and our grandparents that are just as trash as Skip when it comes to actually fighting and dealing with mental illness in the black community. Let's go ahead and be real before we condemn one person like he's the only motherfucker that talk and act like this. A lot of our family members talk and act like this. Let's be real. It's not because Skip is white. It's because Skip is old. I'm going to go ahead and say it. That wasn't a racist thing that happened. That was a old mindset, an old mentality, an old way of thinking. You remember there was a point where, nigga, if you got a motherfucking cold or if you got cut too bad, nigga, you would just fucking die. There was no such thing as penicillin. They didn't know about medicine. Every single year, the knowledge of medicine, the book with the knowledge of medicine doubles just about every year. They literally learn twice the amount of things that they knew about medicine, it doubles every year. So it's always going to be some shit that we're going to start to learning. So every year, every decade, every generation, we start to learning new things and fighting new diseases and illnesses. And mental illness is a real thing. Tyler Reed Brennan, having hot takes on sports is one thing, but on his real life, nah, that's wrong. I completely agree. I don't feel comfortable with that. Him being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is not more important than him being a human being. Facts. That was the part I did not like. And the worst part is, he knew he was finna say some fucked up shit because he started the entire thing with, you may condemn me for my thought process, you may condemn me for my points, but I'm gonna say them. So he knew he was finna say some bullshit. But I wonder how many times he's had to have that conversation, or he's had that conversation with somebody else, or somebody else has had that conversation with him when he was going through depression, or he was going through other mental illnesses that he probably never got diagnosed. Think about how many things. Did y'all see Skip Bayless, the way he talks, the way he thinks about shit? Think about the type of person he might be if he actually got some clinical help. But of course, old motherfuckers not gonna get clinical help for shit like that. When did we actually, as the black community, start taking mental illness seriously? Like 4 or 5 years ago? This wasn't nothing that we've been doing our whole lives. So we just have to, in moments like this, we gotta do what I'm doing right now, do what we doing on Facebook and Twitter, and we gotta shun that shit. We gotta let Skip know that, hey, nigga, that shit don't make no motherfucking sense. So he's gonna see it, and I bet you he's gonna come back and comment on it, and I bet you somebody from Dak Prescott's camp's gonna comment on it, or some athletes are gonna comment on it, or some black commentators are gonna comment on it, and I believe that they're gonna let that nigga know that, hey, nigga, that wasn't cool. That wasn't the right shit. And I hopefully he gets back on air and apologizes for that shit, because that was fucking crazy. That was crazy to me. So I hope he gets on air and apologizes. He gets some understanding and learns. And again, I do not take that as a race thing. I take that as an age thing. He is old, and a lot of our families raised us like that. A lot of our grandparents and parents, especially if they're older, have the same thought process Skip got when it comes to mental illness. I know my dad did for a long time. But as he got older and as I got older, we learned. We learned. You know what I mean? You can only know what you know. And if you don't know, if you don't have any understanding, then you're only going to go with the information that you do know. So I just need Skip to, hopefully people on Twitter, hopefully the people around him and shit like that. If you missed any of the topics, just subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's pinned at the bottom. This episode is going to go on YouTube right after I get off live. So if you missed any of it, don't worry about it. Just subscribe to the channel and you can watch it from the beginning to end. But yeah, I will not, cannot condone, cannot agree with Skip Bayless. I appreciate Shannon Sharp understanding. Shannon Sharp tried to take the conversation as lightly as possible, because I personally believe that he maybe wanted to talk to Skip Bayless a little bit more about it, but because he was on air, he didn't feel as though he could go as in depth as he really wanted to go. Because I imagine that Shannon Sharp wanted to go more in depth. And I can tell you right now, I've had friends and family members commit suicide. And it hurts worse than them dying from natural causes, or them dying from a car accident, or even them dying from something tragic. You see what I'm saying? There's something about a family member taking their own life that hurts worse as somebody that cares about them. You see what I'm saying? It hurts worse because nobody takes their own life because they're in a good place. Nobody takes their own life because they feel like the people around them are doing everything they can to be there for them. So it hurts more because it's like, could I have done more? Could I have said more? Could I have been there in a different way, in a better way? If I would have done something, could I personally have prevented that? You're not supposed to blame yourself. But how can you when somebody that you care about is so hurt with their life that they want to end it and you're a part of their life? All it does is make you feel like you did something wrong, and the other people around them make them feel like they did something wrong. So think about that. Think about that. Dak Prescott is making millions of dollars, taking care of his family. They're almost at a point where he's finna sign one of the biggest contracts in the NFL. So he's gonna have generational wealth for him, his brothers, and his mother. Then his mother dealing with that cancer, you see what I'm saying? And his brother. So it lets you know that the money don't matter, because that's Dak Prescott's brother. They got bread. They got cake. Dak Prescott made $30 million off endorsements last year. Money is nothing to them right now. And he still took himself out the game. That should let you know mental illness is a real thing. And now Dak Prescott talking about he's suffering and dealing with depression because not only COVID-19 got him sitting in the house, but it got him sitting in the house thinking about his family. You wrong for that, Skip. And I'm not finna go off. I'm not finna scream. I'm not finna curse. I'm not finna call you no type of nothing, because I know for a fact you're old. So that means you don't have understanding. And a lot of the people in the black community don't have current understanding, and we're starting to learn. But if you got people in your life, if you got family members and shit that's dealing with depression and mental illness, because it's not just depression, it's bipolar, multiple personality disorder, you got schizophrenia, and it's all type of shit that you could really be dealing with. And you got to talk to the people in your life, man. You got to talk to the people in your life. Because if they're going through some shit and they're trying to deal with it the way that Skip wants people to deal with it, then they may fuck around and do the unthinkable. Take themselves out the game. Resort to drugs. You see what I'm saying? Resort to like violence and shit. Resort to motherfucking isolation. Like, I don't want motherfuckers isolating themselves from the world. I don't want motherfuckers isolating themselves from the community. You see what I'm saying? Because they feel like that they mental problems is something that nobody else cares about. Us in the black community, we care about mental issues. We have to start saying it, speaking into existence, and then taking action on it. We have to care about mental illness in the black community. We got to. We have to. We have to care about mental illness in the black community. We have no choice. They care about it in other communities. Do you know how much psychiatrists and psychologists get paid? In the white community. Hundreds of dollars an hour. $150 an hour, $200 an hour, just to talk your problems out, just to speak your mind, just to vent, just to let it go, just to let it out. Because maybe if you talk about the issues and you say it out loud and you rationalize certain things and you think about certain things in multiple different ways, then maybe you can start the healing. But how are we going to heal if everything is just, okay, suck it up? You want me to tell you why suck it up is the dumbest thing in the world? And I can give it to you in a biological standpoint. The worst thing you can do when you're sick is, if you got the sniffles, keep sucking it up. That'll make you sick longer. You have to let it out. That's how you get the cold out of your body. You have to let it out. That's how you get the flu out of your body. You got to let it out. Literally sucking it up is how you get yourself sicker. And that's your physical body. You don't think your mental and emotional body works the same way? If you sucking it up when you got the flu makes you sicker, don't you think you sucking it up when you depressed makes you more Sometimes I speak words and I pray y'all listening to me. Sometimes I speak words and I pray y'all listening to me. If sucking it up when you got a cold make you sicker, don't you think sucking it up when you going through multiple personality disorder gonna make you have more personalities? Or make it get worse? Don't you think if sucking it up when you got a cold or when you got some type of virus, like motherfucking has a nigga have y'all ever caught strep throat? You gotta spit it out. You gotta spit it out. Because if you suck it up, you could die. Almost died from strep throat. When I was in middle school, I almost died from strep throat. I was in the nurse's office with 105 fever from strep throat. Nigga was finna die from strep. Kept sucking it up. I thought it was just a cold. So you don't think that your mental works the same way? It does. You can't suck it up when you got depression and think you're not gonna get more depressed. You're holding all of that in. You're holding all of that negativity in, and it needs a place to be released. Excuse me. And if it keeps getting released inside you, you'll be at your worst. You'll be at your worst. And you'll never be able to heal if you keep sucking things up and not letting information out, talking to people, growing with people. Hurts my feelings when I watch that motherfucking live, man. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm not gonna lie. If I was Dak Prescott's family, if I was Dak Prescott, I'd be fucking pissed right now. That shit hurt my feelings, man. I almost wanted to shed a tear. I know y'all hear me talking with a little choke because this shit really bothers me. It really bothers me. And I'm thankful that, you know what I mean, my father started to grow as I became older, because I went through a lot growing up. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of my childhood was that suck it up mentality, and it led me to some very dark fucking places. It led me to some horrifying, scary places that one day I'm gonna share with everybody. But right now, it's not the time for that. Right now is the time to man, I'm praying for Dak Prescott and his family right now. I'm praying for Dak Prescott and his family. This nigga gotta go play football in 3 days, and motherfuckers is telling him to suck it up, and his brother just committed suicide. Took himself out the game. That's unfair. I'm praying for Dak Prescott, man. I'm praying for Dak Prescott's family. And I'm praying for Skip Bayless, man. I'm going to pray for understanding, man, and just that he learns that that mindset, that thought process, that suck it up, that you're a man, that you can fight through it. I hope he learns that that's not the best way to go about things all the time. You see what I'm saying? And I pray that not only Skip, but our family members that think the same way Skip do, our congressmen and our senators that think the same way Skip do, I just pray that they get some understanding as well, because that ain't right. That wasn't right. If I was his family, I'd be devastated watching that on TV, man. Skip Bayless spent the entire offseason slaughtering that man for trying to get the most amount of money for him and his family. And then gonna put the nail in the coffin when Dak is at his worst and Dak Prescott's family is at his worst point. I know he didn't mean that much malcontent, that much malice, but it was malicious. It had a lot of malicious intent to it. And we can't let that slide in the black community at all, period. We can't. Us, the black community, especially black men, we have to understand that mental illness is real, and it's something that we need to combat together with speaking, with listening, with help, with care, with understanding, with empathy, and with sympathy. And if you don't have those things, then we gonna be lost out here for a long time. And I refuse. I refuse to be a part of the problem. It's Young God the Pimp. I don't put no holes on the strip or use a smooth talker, a swift hand to break down a bitch. It's the respect that I get. Energy, effort, it's the time that's spent. My time is money, so they're gonna reimburse every cent. If that don't make sense, y'all go subscribe to Pimp Talk TV. It is pinned at the bottom. Y'all also go subscribe to Spot On Sports. Y'all can go watch all of my sports shows, all of my commentary, all of my motherfucking points and analysis on all of the games, basketball, football. I do talk a little baseball. I do talk a little hockey if you know about a little hockey. So y'all gonna see me on Spot On Sports at least once a week, and y'all also gonna see me on Pimp Talk TV at least once a day. Y'all go subscribe right now.